Nobody wants to pay first round dollars for a commodity that can probably go up to 3 years after their first contract if they get lucky.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast, available on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today for this Top Shelf Tuesday edition, our cavalcade of stars, starting first with our favorite political consultant, Merv Jones. Merv, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back on there. There's a lot of good news happening today on and off the field, so I can't wait to get into it.
All right. And our captain for life, Will Cotton. Will, what's going on?
I'm excited. We're getting right there on Thursday. We're right there.
All right.
There.
So on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, it's the final countdown to week one. Hopefully I can do better than I'm doing in college right now. We'll talk about the return of Michael Thomas, as well as some injuries to other wide receivers in segment 2. And in segment 3, week one betting tips from the OCP, strictly for entertainment purposes only. But first, week one is here. Let's talk final prep. Merv, I'm going to start with you. The Colts, they didn't trade Jonathan Taylor. They've got no trade materializing. Taylor's going to miss at least the first 4 games because he's on the PUP list, if I'm not mistaken. Players unable to perform. They asked him to seek a trade. They didn't like what they brought in. Merv, how are you handling this situation if you're Indianapolis?
Well, I think they finally realized the other side of the coin where it comes to the value of a top tier running back or any running back. Nobody wants to pay first round dollars for a commodity that can probably go up to 3 years after their first contract if they get lucky. So what I foresee for them is a lot of headache and heartache. I don't really have a lot of trust in their backfield outside of him. Their defense is always flying around. They're fast. They're strong. They are very alert. They have some decent receivers, and I'm being not kind by saying decent. And then you have a rookie quarterback who is an athletic phenomenon, don't get me wrong, but quarterback can't throw the ball to himself, nor can he run it himself 30 times a game.
So they're short. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah, I'd say they're in phase one of rebuilding it, as it looks like, since they don't even have a top-tier running back or even a starting running back, really.
All right, so Will, you followed their rookie quarterback last season. What do you think about the Colts and this Jonathan Taylor situation just kind of hanging out there? What's going to go on this year?
I think it's, kind of what Merv said. It's kind of like mismanagement. They had things happen with, Rivers. They tried again with Wentz. They tried again with Matt Ryan. Those were wasted years, in my opinion. Those were the years where you should have went on, got some young guys, and you could really put Jonathan Taylor in there, and then you would have a whole team growing together at one time. But right now, you are so unbalanced in terms of what you're trying to do in an organization. They're going to have to get rid of Jonathan Taylor because he is 2 or 3 seasons ahead of where the team is supposed to be or where they're supposed to need in terms of that's when you need a back like that. So I think it's just mismanagement, and they'll figure it out. They're going to get rid of him eventually because at the end of the day, he's not going to fit. He's going to be a square peg in a circle hole. He's not going to fit. So,
All right, so Will, I'm going to stay with you. The New England Patriots, they claim former Carolina Panthers signal caller Matt Corral, who Coach Franchise liked when he was in college, and he's going to be their number 2 quarterback option behind Mac Jones. They also kept, and I hope I get this guy's name right, somebody named Zap or Zappy or something like that. So, fellas, if you know it, you can tell me.
Oh, Zap.
Okay.
I've been hearing everybody say Zappy on ESPN.
No, it's Zap.
No,
Okay.
Zap. Well, look, he's not playing anyway. So, Will, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl after he left Belichick. Patriots have been floundering, and they just picked up Matt Corral off the scrap heap. What are you thinking about the Patriots headed into week one?
The Patriots remind me of when Phil Jackson went to the Knicks. They're using kind of antiquative kind of idea where you can find sustainability in that, but you don't have the same talent that they used to have. I mean, think about the guy when Belichick used to have. I mean, all of the guys like Tom Law, receivers, McGinnis, Will Fork, Brewski, um, the coach over there in Tennessee, I forgot his name. I'm sorry, but um, but you had really good talent on top of lifting to and listening to the organization. Same thing with the Spurs, and look at Popovich. He can't really figure out what he's doing right now because he's not getting the same kind of talent that he's running through the process that he has. So that's what the Patriots are going to have to figure out is either they're going to have to change their plans or they're going to have to let Belichick go or, send him to a GM or something because it's still kind of antiquated. It's not allowing them to grow or succeed, I would say.
Merv, the Patriots have not done well since Brady left for a variety of reasons. Brady did win without him. What's going on? You're picking up again quarterbacks that other teams didn't want. How do you think the season's going to go for them as we head into week one?
They're going to be at the bottom of the conference. Wow. And I like to correlate their existence to two great football movies. Any Given Sunday and Varsity Blues. I say Varsity Blues is because Belichick reminds me of the coach from Varsity Blues who lost his mind at the end of the movie. He walked out and the players end up coaching the game.
Bud Kilmer.
Yep, exactly. Bud Kilmer. And the reason why he got so frustrated because he kept on reinventing the wheel and he didn't get the same results. Kept on trying to do the same thing. Knew he had more explosive players, but didn't know how to use them. And so with Bill Belichick is the exact same thing. He wants to find the next Tom Brady. You can't find another Tom Brady. That's like expecting our new governor of Maryland to drop out of his seat right now and say, you know what, I'm running for president. Nobody's going to recreate that Obama effect. Mm-hmm. There goes my political jab for the day. You can't recreate that. It's magic. It was just quantum physics couldn't explain how all that came together. And I say with Any Given Sunday, Coach was able to, he was stubborn too at first, but then he opened up when he found somebody that worked. But that means Belichick also has to open up and say, you know what, there's another way to play this game besides my way. Short dink and dunk passes and running the hell out of the ball. So moving forward, he has to adapt to today's game. Get a more mobile quarterback, get some fast receivers, not just the big and strong ones. Not everybody's going to get the big, strong, and fast wide receivers. Those only come around every once in a while, and sometimes they're big, strong, and fast, but they can't catch. So
that's bad math.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna end the segment with you, starting with you, Merv, talking about the Cleveland Browns. Okay, you're Ohioan. The Cleveland Browns have named Deshaun Watson as one of their 5 captains. Watson is entering his first full season as the Cleveland starter. The players voted him captain. What happened with Watson has been, as we say in the wrestling business, well documented. You're living now in 2023, and that is one of the faces of your franchise. How are you dealing with that? And please bring in your political savvy as you answer that question, because now your players have said Deshaun Watson is one of the 5 captains of the team, and that's earned. That's not given. What say you, sir?
Right. So I say everybody deserves a second chapter. I'm not going to say a second chance. This is just a whole nother chapter. He did his time. Do I agree with his reasoning for being suspended and almost going to jail and losing a whole bunch of money potentially? No, because I have a daughter. So at the end of the day, I don't condone those actions at all. But he had the right time in the right place to rebuild and see his image away. When he came back in at the latter part of last year, he got his butt kicked. And it was humbling because he hadn't played an actual game. He needed to knock that rust off. And there was some penance being paid there for all those hits that he took those last couple of games. I'm not saying that's the ultimate penance, but hey, you get a chance to reinvent yourself. And he came to Cleveland where it's a mix. Cleveland could be Republican, Democrat, harsher on penalties, softer on penalties like that. But all in all, black men don't get a second chance unless they throw a football or catch a football. So I'm happy he got the promotion to captain. I hope he does the right things with it. It seems like he's been doing everything, lock and step. And we'll see what happens because right after, this first full season with a full training camp, there are no excuses now.
Yeah.
So if he fails, he fails.
So, Will, you are my captain for life. You have been in the locker room to this day. If we need anything done, we're calling you. So that's the reality of the life. You've read the reports. You have the show notes. You have the final word. Deshaun Watson's one of their 5 captains. How are you taking this, sir?
I think internally, he can still sling it. That's number one. He's still he's a very capable, very good quarterback. That's number one. Number two, I think he was probably a lot honest and open with his teammates about what happened. I know a lot, just like Merv and just like a lot of other listeners, they also are fathers of daughters. And there's guys in the locker rooms who are probably, fathers of daughters. There's coaches out there who have daughters on the team, so I'm sure they had to have that open conversation and have that open talk with them. Even with the higher up, GM, the president saying, hey, we're going to make you, a captain. We're going to put you out front. We're going to have your face out front. We're going to, on tickets, you're going to be on, the reports, the daily reports, right? That they have when they come to the stadium. So, I mean, it was a big thing, but I think the biggest thing, he was up front with a lot of people. And I commend Cleveland for keeping that internal conversations to themselves and not kind of let it get out. So, like Merv said, second chapter, everyone's kind of moving forward. He was probably open and, again, he can still sling it. So let's go move forward and let's get some wins.
All right. So with that, fans, in segment 2, we'll talk about the return of Michael Thomas as well as some wide receiver injuries. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA Save Project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints. So last week, for those who are on our YouTube video, and again, we thank all of you, you saw us react to something Merv said. We asked Merv about a surprise team. And he said the New Orleans Saints, and we all had the wrong. But then I did some homework because Merv made me pause. And could Merv be right? As the Saints approach their first regular season game, against the Tennessee Titans, they got Michael Thomas back from injury. And when he did play, he was a big deal. He missed a lot of games with a variety of injuries, got a new coach, got a new quarterback. He is not the same player that he was 3 years ago, but the Saints are a different team. And they restructured his contract, so he's got his money shifted around. He's 30, he's older. Merv, are we on this? Are you on to something? It ain't even we. Are you on to something? Talk to me about Michael Thomas coming back.
All right. So Michael Thomas had some injuries, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have that many miles on him. The few years that he played a complete season or most of the season, I think he had like over 80 catches and close to or not exceeding 1,000 yards. And now he has a younger quarterback who's looking for a new life. I don't want to make the correlation to Drew Brees, but it's somebody who's looking for a second life after the team did him wrong. That's Derek Carr. Same thing happened to Drew Brees. And Drew Brees has gotten bigger from what I've seen on NFL Network and other tape and things like that. He's getting more accurate and he's more comfortable in this system than he was in the system that he was running last year. And then on top of that, we thought Kamara was going to be out for almost half the year, and now he's only out 3 games. And the one thing that the Saints always have is a front seven and some killers out on the corners. So they will hold it together in my mind. I feel like they are a team to watch. They are a team to not scoff at. And we'll see what the South has to say for there.
So, Will, strictly for entertainment purposes only, what do you think about what Merv said? Does he convince you? Is the NFC South that bad that this is gonna be an issue? What do you think?
Well, Merv's right. The division is terrible. Anyone can win. I don't think the Saints are for a couple reasons. I think, like he said, they have a great front seven. But front seven is not going to score points. We had Derek Carr last year who had the number one running back, Josh Jacobs. He was the number one running back last year. And Devontae Adams was the number one receiving touchdowns last year. And they didn't make the playoffs. So they've given him weapons, and now he doesn't have those guys. Michael Thomas is 30, and sometimes, man, 30 comes like a cliff. Sometimes you wake up, man, and it's not like it's like a vase who's already has been cracked, and you put it together. It'll never be as strong as when it first made. So again, he's 30. Yes, he doesn't have the mileage, but he's like a car that's been hit or 2-3 times and is back on the road, but you ain't been driving, but you've had like 2-3 bad accidents. So but the best thing for them is they have a terrible division. So a ball go the right way or a kick goes the right way, and somebody catches a ball the right way, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up.
Yeah, the NFC South is really bad. So, Will, I'm gonna stay with you. Cooper Kupp, Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp, recently suffered a recurrence of a hamstring injury that kept him out of parts of training camp. According to media reports, the issue could be more serious, and hamstrings aren't good. This guy was a record-breaking offensive player, and then the Rams have kind of come back to earth. What are you thinking about Cooper Kupp and the Los Angeles Rams?
I'm staying away from him in fantasy. I'm staying away. One, again, he's, a little older this year. He's never really been a guy like a physical marvel. He's not like a Megatron kind of guy. So at some point he's going to come back to earth a lot faster than the guys like Randy Moss or like the Megatrons or guys like that. So I think it's just, reality for him. I think it's just reality, and it's unfortunate. And the hamstring is going to even because now, I'm no disrespect, but a slower player it's going to get even slower because now he has a bad hamstring. So I think it's just the decline. He had a great season. But yeah, it's the decline's ready, and I think he has maybe 3 years left, and then it's over, I think.
Okay, Merv, agree or disagree, sir?
I agree, but the way modern science is and the way new training is, you never know. But I'm leaning towards what Will has said. When you look at receivers like Cooper Kupp, you have Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, and I'm not just saying those names because they're white. I'm saying it because they are slot receivers, and they're known, and the need for a slot receiver is shiftiness, explosions out of the breaks, and once you lose that, it's a wrap. It's really that. And once you lose that explosion and that quickness to get in and out of the cuts, slants, and things of that nature, it's hard. It's really hard. And they relied on him a lot the last couple of years, especially during their Super Bowl run.
Okay, last one, and I'm going to stay with you, Merv. Local guy to our area, Terry McLaurin has sat out since his injury late in the first half of the Commanders' second preseason game. I believe it was against the Ravens. His X-rays were negative. His MRI, for the most part, was in part was just okay. He injured his toe in the preseason win against the Ravens. So it was against the Ravens. He's a wide receiver. He was diagnosed with turf toe. You see Coach Prime, something that really hampered his career. And they're trying to win right now. So Merv, you've read the reports. You're local. Talk to me about Terry McLaurin, because this just doesn't sound like it's going to be good.
It's not. Turf toe is something that we kind of chuckle at, but once you really have it, it's bad. Like, I had it in college, and it really messed with me for at least the second half of the season because it happened around game 7. When you're trying to drive off that big toe or those first 2 toes, it feels like a rubber band has broken in your foot, and it pops. And so you don't have that explosion, and you are hurt, or you're not hurt, but you are more hampered by that when you're somebody who drives off their feet more than anything. And football is a sport where everybody drives off their feet, but more than anybody, receivers and DBs need that. Honestly, I don't mean this jokingly, Josh Gordon's still a free agent. They need another receiver. and cannabis is legal in DC now.
Will, please jump in.
I mean, right as we get to the season starts, Chase Young is hurt, with a stinger for a month. Now Terry McLaurin's been hurt, look, they don't need to win. Why should win? What is win going to do for them? Go get the draft, go get the picks. Don't, do those things, man. Don't throw McLaurin out there and he's like, 60, 70, 80%, and then he goes out there and gets hurt. Look what you did to RG3. Look what you did. You rushed him in. You had this bogus plan idea that y'all were going to be this next Super Bowl team, and then you rushed him in there, and he was damaged, and it was just done. Do the right thing. If he can play, let him play. Manage it. Snap count. But don't do the same things don't do the same. Don't mess up the same time. Don't do the same mistakes twice. It doesn't it doesn't make sense. And now you don't even have the owner no more, so you have no pressure to even get him to look at Kawhi. I mean, I hate to say basketball, but look, sit whenever you want. Play when you can, play out when you can. We're not here, but I don't know. In my opinion, they just need to chill. Don't be pressed on it. If he misses the first couple games, he's straight. But it's the long term, and I think Washington should look at that, and it's that's what they should look for. Don't worry about this year. They're not winning nothing, so I don't know why they're like, you should play. Da, 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 da. Like, why? Get the man healthy. move forward for the long term.
All right, so with that, fans, in segment 3, we're going to talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. During the break, go ahead and get your pencils ready. We're going to see if we can get you some winners. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3. Let's get things done strictly for entertainment purposes only. So again, preseason top 5. I got Kansas City because they're the defending champions. Philadelphia should be able to get back close to that. Out of respect for my brother, I have Dallas at 3, but I don't care. Buffalo at 4 because everybody's messing with them. And 5 is Detroit because they like playing for that guy. On the outside looking in my preseason, I got San Francisco and I got Jacksonville because, again, that AFC South is some trash and hot garbage. Okay, so we got that out of the way. My season-long bets for the AFC North, I'm tracking the Steelers all year, 8.5. AFC South, I got the Jags, 10 straight. So let's make that happen. AFC East, I'm taking the bait. I got the Jets, 9.5. Okay, I was waiting for Dalvin Cook. He came. We're going to get 10 wins. Okay, AFC West, I'm in the tank for the Chargers, 9.5. NFC North, Green Bay, over 7.5. I think Jordan Love can play. NFC South, Carolina, I already put the bet in. And then Merv got me thinking about New Orleans, so I'm not making a second bet. Let's see if the kid can play, but I'm not strong about that one. NFC East, made the bet before the injury. Washington over 6.5, and Will's got him tanking for Caleb. And the NFC West, Seattle over 8.5. Geno's the truth, baby. Geno's the truth. So, gentlemen, starting with Will for week 1, give me a game or two that is on your list of things that you've got to watch. Again, Cotton Man, you're up first.
Man, gotta catch Bills, Jets. Gotta see Rodgers. Gotta see Josh Allen. That's prime time. Gotta do it. Always gotta go Cowboys, Giants. It's always a great game. Always a great game. I'm definitely gonna like that. But another one that people are gonna like and they're gonna have a lot of points. Dolphins and Chargers in LA. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little hot, but I think they get some numbers out there. So look at the over on that one.
Okay. Merv, what has tickled your fancy and excited your soul? Because Jermaine was one of my favorite Jacksons.
All right. So, of course, I'm going to be a homer. Browns versus Bengals. That's going to be my top one.
Is Burrow playing?
He's playing. He's absolutely
playing. Okay. Will, I owe you $1.
With Cincinnati, that's a strong test out the gate to see how well the Browns are going to do with this new look offense and with everybody who's in the same system for more than a year now. Next game I'm looking at is San Francisco, Pittsburgh. I want to see what quarterback the 49ers are going to put out there, but then at the end of the day, that's two amazing defenses who are going to be battling the whole game.
Merv, is that a 1:00 start?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So you know the rules. Take Pittsburgh because you got a West Coast team coming East Coast, is what they tell me.
Yep. And then another game, or my last game I want to look at, is Dallas and New York. New York has a revamped defense with the rookie defensive end that they got last year, and then they just got Isaiah Simmons from Carolina, so their defense is going to look extremely aggressive. They have Darren Waller from the Raiders at tight end, and then we'll see how Saquon is begrudgingly after revamping his contract to the chagrin of himself. He wanted a full 4-year deal.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead. So, fans, strictly for entertainment purposes only, and this will be posted since it's week 1. You get my picks early. So, my game of the week spread is Seattle -4.5. So, go ahead and take a look at that. My over/under of the week is Tennessee under 41 points. Okay, so I'm taking the under the Tennessee game. My 2-play spread is Cleveland +2.5 and Carolina +3.5. I actually think both teams are going to win outright. Could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot in college. My 3-play money line, Jacksonville's going to get the win. Washington has to get the win because that stadium's going to be rocking. And I got Philadelphia taking the win. And my upset pick of the week, and again, because it's week 1, you can get it clean. Everything else, you got to follow me. I got Green Bay in the upset. Will, how much money am I about to lose, sir?
None.
I'm good?
0. We about to make money, baby.
All right. I'm good with that one. Merv, what do you think about my picks this week?
If you're putting down $1 a game,
no, I'm putting down 10 a game. Don't you, Butch? He's saying $1. I'm not that bad. That's an inside joke.
Oh, no. Because I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I say you lose 1, but you're going to come out on top overall.
All right. I'm hoping so because college is kicking my fanny right now. So
go Colorado.
Love that. Don't mind being wrong about that. So to close the show, fans, it's merch time. Go to ckasaveproject.itemorder.com and buy your Odd Coaches podcast shirts, buy your CKA Save Project shirts. Portion of the proceeds go to give Finding the Balance books to underserved high school student athletes. So again, help out. Super producer Kelly will be putting it on the screen. I can do that. Be like that, and that's kind of cool. Before we close out, any final words going into week 1? Cotton Man, what are we looking for week 1?
Man, can you believe I have to take a certification? So I'm not even going to be watching. Like, I'm taking a boot camp like on Sunday. It starts on Sunday all through week. So I'm not even going to see it. I'm so bummed. But
that's Adam's luck.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right? Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes, indeed. Merv, what about you? Final words, sir.
I want to say, look into the website, what Coach Keith is doing. He's doing some amazing things with our youth, which is the ones who are benefiting from this podcast in our time. And then most importantly, look into yourself and invest in yourself. That's one thing my mom always told me, invest yourself. So I plan on doing that a lot this week, trying to do some reinvestment into myself and my family.
All right. So on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram @OddCoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram @CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram @Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.